Welcome to our show, The Science of Death, Part 1 of 2. At one time or another, each of us will ponder the question, what happens when we die? We wonder what is awaiting us once our journey on Earth is complete and the time has come to travel beyond the veil of our physical death. In recent years, medical breakthroughs and a keen interest in the afterlife have led researchers to uncover fascinating insights about the death process and what lies beyond. For most of history, death was considered a fixed point in time that occurred when our heart stopped beating. Dr. Sam Pania, a resuscitation specialist and global expert in the scientific study of cardiac arrest, death, and near-death experiences, provides us with the once traditional view of death within the medical community.
Death happens when any illness or an accident becomes so severe that it causes the heart to stop beating. This is medically called cardiac arrest. When this happens, blood flow stops in the whole body, and breathing, brain function, and all signs of life are lost.
However, through modern medical advances, patients who experience cardiac arrest can now sometimes be brought back to life through cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, medicine, and other technologies.
Some people who would otherwise have been permanently dead could be brought back to life. And this started to challenge the way we think of death.
These advancements led doctors to discover that death is a gradual process, not a fixed moment in time. Once the heart stops beating, blood and oxygen circulation in the body ceases, but the organs do not immediately fail, and brain function does not completely stop. Previous beliefs assumed the brain ceased to function when the heart stopped. However, recent research highlights a surge of brain activity during the moments leading up to and after cardiac arrest, sometimes lasting up to an hour after the heartbeat flatlines.
In studies of healthy humans, brain activity recordings have shown active gamma waves as a person looks at pictures of memorable life events, a wedding, the birth of a child. The same waves appeared in abundance in the dying patient and for 30 seconds after death.
Could this surge in brain activity around the time of death be the missing link of what is commonly known as a near-death experience, or NDE?
What if during this period of seeming unconsciousness from the outside world's perspective, a fascinating, lucid, transcendent, meaningful, and purposeful experience emerges that follows a very specific narrative?
Although each near-death experience is unique, there are commonalities that have been identified through research. One of the most striking of these is an encounter with a being or beings of light whose profound, transcendent love surpasses any known earthly feeling.
My body was, when I looked at it, it was almost kind of see-through, but I felt okay. I thought, I've died, but I feel wonderful. This feels great. There was a personality in the presence of this light. It was white light, indescribable in its purity. And the other feelings that went with it were, I'm loved. I'm in the presence of love. And I felt so good, so loved.
Another frequently reported experience is the life review, where one revisits their life from multiple perspectives, giving a deeper understanding of their impact on others.
I have had what I believe to be the single most important aspect of the near-death experience, other than it happens. Panoramic life review. Everyone will have this. You are there again. You are experiencing your own birth, every interaction with every person that you've ever had, every event, every point, every perspective, and you're watching it from a third person. I literally became every person that I have ever encountered. I got to feel the direct results of my interaction.
Other common occurrences during NDEs include encounters with angels, reunions with departed loved ones, and even visits to heaven. Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, has on several occasions shed light on the profound journey of the soul after death.
At the time of death, normally we will be greeted and surrounded by enlightened beings such as angels, past masters, Christ, Buddha. But then it depends on our consciousness at that time, our conscience also. If we think that we did all terrible things in life, then our conscience will blind us from this possibility of communicating with these light beings. And we will think that we deserve some punishment. So we sink into a lower level of consciousness. Maybe you call that hell. And if we do all the right things in life, then our conscience will allow us to ascend into a better place, which is called heaven. We make this choice already while we are living by acting out what we want to be. If we want to be godlike, then we act like loving person, compassionate, giving, understanding, forgiving, and holy, etc. If we want to act on the contrary to God, then maybe we do not follow the 10 Commandments. We try to do everything that is contrary to the teachings of Jesus, for example. Then at the time of death, the habitual thinking that we would think in that way. And so this thinking will not allow us to go into a higher heaven. And if, by the way, we practice enlightenment, we see the light of God every day, then of course we go where the light goes. That's where God is. Okay?
Thank you, most beloved Master, for reminding us about the significance of our choices in shaping our spiritual destiny. In 2023, Dr. Sampania and colleagues published the Aware 2 study, the world's largest and most comprehensive study to date, analyzing 567 people who experienced cardiac arrest across 25 hospitals. The research demonstrated the existence of near-death experiences, or what Dr. Pania refers to as recalled experiences of death, by providing scientific proof.
The study was able to show for the first time that the experiences that people have been describing about having a lucid, hyper-conscious experience where they can reevaluate their entire life, every memory, every thought, every intention, is real and is different to hallucinations, is different to dreams, and is different to other imaginary experiences.
The research team not only verified the occurrence of near-death experiences, but also identified unique electrical activity within the brain during the dying process. The researchers also discovered that due to the lack of blood flow, the normal blocking systems within the brain are removed, enabling people to have what Dr. Pania describes as access to their entire consciousness.
All their thoughts, memories, all their emotional states, everything they've ever done, which they relive through the perspective of morality and ethics. And interestingly, they get access to other dimensions of reality as well at this time.
Through his extensive scientific research, Dr. Pania believes that our consciousness does not diminish at death.
Science does, at a minimum, suggest we do not seem to become annihilated when we cross over into death and into the great unknown, and that perhaps human actions, human thoughts and intentions do matter.
Much of Dr. Panya's research has been corroborated by Dr. Jimo Borigin, a professor of neurology at the University of Michigan in the United States. Dr. Borigin's research involved a patient known as Patient 1, who was taken off life support. While clinically dead, her brain displayed remarkable hyperactivity, with certain sections registering signals 11 to 12 times higher than when on a ventilator. Patient 1's brain waves synchronized intensely, indicating heightened attention and memory. Her brain activity continued for almost 4 minutes after oxygen was withdrawn, and again after 5 minutes after life support was removed. Based on the patterns of brain functioning associated with Patient 1, Dr. Jimo Borigin believes it's likely that Patient 1 had a profound near-death experience with many of its major features: out-of-body sensations, visions of light, feelings of joy or serenity, and moral re-evaluations of one's life. Dr. Sampania and Dr. Jimo Borigin both conclude that, contrary to popular belief, the brain is extraordinarily active during death.
I knew too much time had gone by to still be alive, but I never had the experience of feeling alive and then dead. I had the experience of feeling alive and then more alive, conscious and then more conscious, because this experience was absolutely more real, more intense, more vivid than anything I've experienced here on Earth.
Thank you, Dr. Sampania, Dr. Jimo Borigin, and all those who are dedicating their lives to the science of death and uncovering mysteries of the afterlife. Could it be that science will one day reveal that our Heavenly Creator has provided specific mechanisms to ease our transition during the dying process? Such a discovery would affirm spiritual beliefs and bring solace to many. Please join us on Wednesday, July 31st for the second part of our show as we share the incredible discoveries of Dr. Christopher Kerr, a hospice doctor who has studied over 1,500 patients and their families during the dying process.
Vegan, embracing the whole creation.
Positive Thinking viewers, thank you so much for being with us for today's show.